Hello and benvenuto to Life's Questions and Lessons. I am your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so grateful that you are here with me today. This podcast is unedited because life is unedited. Now let's get started with our first question. Who do I support? Who do I support? So a few weeks ago, we had an episode titled Who Supports Me? And if you haven't already, definitely take a listen to that. But this is kind of the secondary or the follow-up piece of that, which is who do I support? So a lot of times, especially when we are looking for help or starting something new, we look for people to help us, to encourage us, to empower us. And we maybe start with our networks. We start with the people we know. We, look at the people who inspire us. But sometimes we forget to support others. And I don't think it's, purposeful. I think sometimes we just get into the day to day and the busyness of our lives. But I really wanted to bring this question to the podcast. As I'm doing more networking and really building this business, one thing that I've noticed is I'm starting to get people who reach out to me and they want to be on the podcast or they want to collaborate in some way. And unfortunately, the first thing that they ask is, I think I would be a really great guest for your podcast. What that lets me know is they've never listened to the podcast, because if you did, you would know that there are no guests. This is a 5-minute self-reflection tool where we talk about a particular question, a little bit of context, and you're able to, explore these ideas and these questions and these insights. But I really thought about, this idea of just helping others. You hear me say this every single time on the podcast at the end, but it's really, really important. If you can support someone, if you can help someone in any way, do that. And I thought this was no better time than to bring this to the podcast than today. So as I think about, who do I support, I really enjoy using my natural gifts. It's very easy for me to ask the right questions. It's very easy for me to listen and empower and encourage. So I usually support people in mentorship, whether that's online, whether that's on, literally seeing a post on LinkedIn, or I feel like I have some way to support that person if they're sounding like they need a little bit of guidance, and just offering, my time, a few minutes to just offer them some questions or offer some alternative perspectives as well. So as you're thinking about this for yourself, really think about the people in your life that you're either inspired by, or that maybe they have said that you are an inspiration to them, and really think about how you can support them. It doesn't have to be this whole big thing. I think that's one of the beautiful things about this podcast. It's 5 minutes, right? It's not, and I hope, and I know I've heard in the feedback that this is a very helpful time, a very useful time for you as a listener, even though it's only, some people would say only 5 minutes. So look in your circle, in your, your current circle, your current network. And if there's someone who is looking for support and you can support them with a few minutes, with a few words, with a resource, please do that. So I really challenge you to take some time and think about this and explore this question in whatever way works best for you. As always, thank you so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast wherever you're listening to my words. And if this was helpful for you, especially this episode on support, please share it. We are here on this planet to help each other. So if this was helpful for you, please share it. And until next time, take care.